Good men are not immune, that there are hidden psychological reasons women cheat, reasons no one talks about, and they might shock you. Stay with me till the end, because understanding this could change the way you see love, trust, and relationships forever. You deserve to know the truth, not the excuses. Don't scroll away. The answers you need are right here. Drop a comment below telling me where you're watching from, and subscribe to the channel so you never miss life-changing truths about love, relationships, and the human heart. You see, one of the most overlooked truths about relationships is this: emotional connection isn't automatic. Even when a man is good, you might think that loyalty, kindness, and providing for her are enough to keep a woman fully devoted. But here's the hard truth. Emotional intimacy is what truly binds hearts, and it can fade quietly, almost imperceptibly. It's subtle at first. Maybe you've been busy with work, responsibilities, or just the routine of life. You're present physically, but the deep, attentive presence, where she feels seen, heard, and understood, begins to waver. A woman doesn't just crave words, she craves depth. She wants to feel that the person she loves is fully engaged with her inner world, not just the surface of her life. When that emotional bond weakens, even a woman in love can feel lonely, isolated, and misunderstood. It's not about him being bad or unworthy. In fact, it's often the opposite. He's loyal, dependable, and caring. But emotional neglect doesn't always look like fighting or arguing. It looks like silence, distraction, and a lack of curiosity about her thoughts and feelings. This disconnect can create a quiet desperation. She begins to seek validation and attention in ways that may surprise or even shock a good man. Sometimes it manifests as flirtation, secret conversations, or emotional closeness with someone outside the relationship. And while this isn't an excuse, it is a signal. It's a signal that the emotional intimacy she once relied on has eroded, leaving a gap that no act of material provision or surface level affection can fill. Here's the thing about emotional intimacy. It's not just about love. It's about understanding, empathy, and genuine presence. It's about being curious about her day, her fears, her dreams, even the ones she hasn't told anyone else. It's about listening without judgment, asking without an agenda, and showing her that her internal world matters as much as the life you share together. When this bond is neglected, even a woman who values her partner deeply may find herself drifting towards someone who makes her feel truly understood. You might be thinking, but I've always loved her, given her everything I could. How could this happen to me? And that's precisely the point. Emotional disconnect doesn't discriminate between men who are good and men who are bad. It doesn't care about your intentions, your loyalty, or your past sacrifices. What matters is whether she feels seen and valued at the deepest level. Love alone is not enough. Presence and understanding are equally, if not more, critical. Think about the little moments you might dismiss: a text left unanswered, a sigh ignored, a story you only half listened to because you were preoccupied. These small lapses accumulate like cracks in a foundation until the structure of emotional intimacy starts to weaken. And once that foundation is compromised, the heart looks for stability elsewhere. Not because she wants to hurt you, not because she wants to betray, but because the human need to be understood and cherished is undeniable. Psychologically, this makes sense. Humans are wired for connection. When the connection we crave isn't met in our closest relationships, we naturally seek it elsewhere. It's a survival instinct and emotional necessity. And here lies the paradox: even the best men, the ones who would never dream of causing harm, can be blindsided by this dynamic. Because the heart doesn't operate on logic alone. It operates on feeling. And if a woman stops feeling deeply connected, the rest of the relationship, no matter how solid it seems, becomes vulnerable. So what can we take away from this? First, it's a call to awareness. Love and loyalty are vital, but they are not substitutes for emotional engagement. You cannot assume that just being good will maintain the bond. True intimacy requires consistent effort, curiosity, and openness. Ask questions, listen deeply, and make her inner world a priority, not occasionally, but every day. Second, it's a reminder that relationships are living systems. They grow or they decay depending on how we nurture them. Emotional neglect is silent but powerful. It doesn't announce itself with fanfare. It creeps in unnoticed until it's a chasm that threatens to pull the heart away. Recognize it early, act intentionally, and you can prevent a drift that may feel irreversible. Finally, understand that emotional connection is a two-way street, but it begins with your awareness and your willingness to engage fully. The act of truly seeing her, appreciating her complexity, and investing in her emotional world is not just a strategy to prevent betrayal. It's a pathway to a richer, more passionate, and more resilient love. Remember this: a heart that feels understood and valued is rarely tempted to wander. The strongest relationships are built not just on trust, but on emotional presence. If you nurture that presence, you are not only protecting your relationship, you are elevating it to a level where love, loyalty, and desire coexist harmoniously. So the next time you think, I'm a good man, I've done everything right, pause and ask yourself, have I been truly present? Have I listened without distraction, without judgment, without assumption? Because the moment a woman stops feeling truly seen, the seeds of emotional disconnect are already planted, and those seeds left unattended can grow into the very reasons we fear most. A relationship isn't defined by what you give her materially, but by how deeply she feels you in her heart, and in that feeling lies the power to keep love unshakable. Even in relationships with good men, men who are loyal, loving, and dependable, there's a hidden force that can quietly erode intimacy. The craving for excitement and novelty. It's not about dissatisfaction with the partner, not about lack of love or respect. It's something deeper, something wired into the human psyche. Women, like men, are driven by a need for new experiences, for stimulation, for moments that break the routine and make them feel alive. Think about it: life, with all its responsibilities, work pressures, and daily routines, can feel monotonous. You wake up, go to work, come home, repeat. Even in a relationship that seems perfect, this monotony can seep into the connection, dulling the spark that once made her heart race. And here lies the danger: the heart seeks novelty as a form of emotional rejuvenation. This is not about betrayal in the moral sense. It's about a natural human craving for vitality and engagement. The brain plays a significant role here. Neuroscience shows that our brains are highly responsive to new stimuli, to experiences that trigger dopamine, the chemical that fuels pleasure and reward. Routine, predictability, even comfort are necessary for stability, but they don't stimulate the same chemical responses. Over time, a woman may unconsciously start looking for that excitement outside her relationship, even if she values her partner deeply. It's not premeditated wrongdoing, it's a natural response to a biological and psychological need. This is where many good men feel blindsided. They've been providing love, stability, and support, thinking it's enough. And it is, emotionally, materially, morally, but they often overlook the subtler, invisible dimension of attraction, the thrill of novelty, the sense of unpredictability, the feeling that life is vivid and intensely alive. These feelings aren't a reflection of your worth. They are part of the human condition. Recognizing this is critical because it shifts the conversation from blame to understanding. Excitement isn't about danger or recklessness. It's about feeling seen in a way that awakens the senses and emotions. Women crave moments that make them feel alive, not just comfortable. It can be small, a spontaneous gesture, an unexpected adventure, a deep, meaningful conversation at a surprising moment. It's the unpredictable spark, the emotional and psychological stimulation that keeps desire alive. When a relationship becomes too predictable, the mind may wander, not because she doesn't love you, but because the emotional system seeks stimulation elsewhere. Philosophically, this speaks to the balance every human relationship must strike: stability and novelty. Stability without novelty can feel like a cage. Novelty without stability is chaos. The strongest, most resilient relationships are the ones that integrate both, where the foundation of trust, loyalty, and care exists alongside the excitement that makes life feel vibrant. It's not a weakness to crave this balance. It's a sign of depth and intelligence in the human heart. And here's another nuanced novelty. It doesn't have to be external. Emotional and intellectual novelty, new conversations, shared experiences, discovering unexplored facets of each other can satisfy this craving profoundly. But too often, couples settle into routines that focus on survival, bills, chores, schedules, while neglecting the experiential dimension of the relationship. This neglect creates invisible cracks, and when novelty is absent, even the most committed woman may start seeking it subconsciously in ways that feel forbidden or risky. Understanding this isn't just about preventing betrayal, it's about nurturing a vibrant, evolving partnership. A good man who recognizes this can actively cultivate novelty and excitement within the relationship, ensuring that emotional and physical intimacy remains alive. It's a conscious effort introducing surprises, exploring new ideas, sharing adventures, challenging each other intellectually, laughing together in unexpected ways. These moments strengthen bonds rather than weakening them, because they fulfill a core human need that stability alone cannot. The lesson here is profound. Love is essential, loyalty is vital, but excitement is not optional. It's a psychological necessity. Ignoring this need is not just risky, it's blind to the realities of human desire. And acknowledging it is not a moral failure, it's an act of intelligence and compassion. By understanding the inner workings of desire and novelty, a man can become more than good. He can become magnetic, captivating, and irreplaceable in her emotional world. So, when you feel frustrated or confused about why a woman may seek excitement elsewhere, pause and reflect. Ask yourself, am I nurturing the full spectrum of her emotional, intellectual, and sensory needs? Am I creating moments that make her heart race, that awaken her curiosity, that remind her why she fell in love with me in the first place? Because desire, stimulation, and novelty are not luxuries. They are fundamental human drives, and ignoring them leaves a space that the heart inevitably seeks to fill. In the end, relationships are not static. They are dynamic systems that require constant care, attention, and creativity. The best men understand that emotional stability and physical presence must coexist with the thrill of unpredictability and newness. By doing so, they protect not just the bond of love, but the vitality, passion, and connection that make life truly worth living. A woman's heart thrives on both love and life's spark. Neglecting the need for excitement leaves a space that no loyalty alone can fill, and the choice to ignite that spark is yours to make every single day. Even when a man is loving, loyal, and deeply committed, there's another force that can quietly influence a woman's choices. The need for self-esteem and validation. It's a subtle, often misunderstood dynamic. Many assume that if a woman is with a good man, her sense of self-worth should be secure. But the truth is, self-esteem doesn't automatically come from external circumstances. It comes from within. And when that internal sense of value wavers, it can manifest in unexpected ways, sometimes leading her to seek affirmation outside the relationship. This isn't about moral weakness or inherent disloyalty. It's about a psychological truth. Humans crave recognition, admiration, and the reassurance that they are desirable and capable. Even a woman in a healthy, stable relationship may feel the need to be seen in a way that confirms her worth, her attractiveness, and her power to influence and captivate. It's a reflection of an internal struggle, not a judgment on her partner. Think about it for a moment. Every human being wants to feel significant, needed, and admired. Women are no different. When these feelings are not fully satisfied, whether through emotional engagement, meaningful acknowledgement, or opportunities to feel truly empowered, there's a natural tendency to seek them elsewhere. It may appear as flirtation, secret conversations, or emotional closeness with another person. And while this behavior can be painful for the partner to witness, it is often less about desire for someone else and more about a personal need for validation that hasn't been met. Psychologically, this is tied to the way the human brain processes reward and social feedback, positive reinforcement, compliments, recognition. Admiration triggers the same neurochemical pathways that create pleasure and satisfaction. When these pathways are undernourished in the primary relationship, the mind instinctively seeks them where they are available. This is not calculated betrayal, it is a natural response to an unmet psychological need. What's important to understand is that self-esteem is not something a partner can simply give. No amount of loyalty, gifts, or acts of love can permanently fill the gap if a woman's internal sense of worth is fragile. However, a partner can play a vital role in nurturing her confidence and reinforcing her value, not as a substitute for self-love, but as a supportive force. This requires intentionality, attentiveness, and a deep understanding of her emotional landscape. Many men overlook this dimension of relationships. They believe that providing stability, security, and care is enough, assuming that love and protection will automatically satisfy their partner's sense of self. And yet, a woman's desire to feel seen and valued on a personal, psychological, and even social level often extends beyond these basics. It's about feeling admired not just for what she does, but for who she is, her uniqueness, her talents, her intellect, her passions. When that acknowledgement is absent or inconsistent, even the strongest commitment may feel insufficient. This dynamic also highlights a profound philosophical truth about human relationships. Love alone is not enough if it is not accompanied by mutual recognition and reinforcement of individual identity. A relationship thrives when both partners feel seen, admired, and respected for the totality of who they are. Neglecting this can create invisible cracks, small but significant, where insecurity takes root and emotional wandering becomes more likely. It's essential to note that validation doesn't mean indulgence or overpraising. It means understanding, acknowledgement, and sincere appreciation. It's about recognizing her strengths, supporting her aspirations, and affirming that her presence and contribution matter. These gestures cultivate an environment where self-esteem is nurtured, not fragile, and where her need for external affirmation is met in healthy, secure ways within the relationship. By recognizing this, a man can shift from frustration to strategy. He no longer sees signs of external attention as a threat or betrayal, but as signals to invest deeper in emotional and psychological connection. He can become attuned to the subtle ways she seeks acknowledgement and respond in ways that reinforce her confidence without compromising his own identity. This is a nuanced, intelligent approach that transforms challenges into opportunities for deeper intimacy and trust. In essence, understanding the role of self-esteem and validation illuminates why even women who love deeply may act in ways that seem contradictory. It's a call for mindfulness, empathy, and active participation in the emotional life of the relationship. When a man appreciates this dimension, he becomes more than just good. He becomes irreplaceable, not because he satisfies superficial needs, but because he engages with her on the level of her identity, her worth, and her sense of self. Ultimately, this insight offers a profound lesson. Relationships are not static, they are evolving systems of emotional and psychological interdependence. A woman's heart is deeply influenced not only by love and loyalty, but by the affirmation and recognition she experiences. Ignoring this truth leaves space for insecurity to grow, while embracing it strengthens the bond in ways that transcend routine affection. So, the next time you feel confused about why a woman might seek attention or validation elsewhere, pause and reflect. Are you actively nurturing her sense of self? Are you acknowledging her worth, celebrating her uniqueness, and making her feel indispensable? Not just as your partner, but as a complete, valued individual. Because the strongest, most enduring relationships are built on more than love. They are built on mutual recognition, affirmation, and the unwavering knowledge that each person's worth is seen, celebrated, and cherished. Love without acknowledgement is fragile. When a woman feels truly seen, valued, and admired, her heart has no need to wander, and the power to create that certainty lies in your awareness, your presence, and your choice to nurture her worth every single day.